Zombie outbreak. The classical apocalypse is here. Zombies. You thought you would be ready for this. You've seen all the zombie movies and you've already picked your favorite zombie weapon in your head. Maybe it's a bat, or a hilariously impractical chainsaw. Maybe you've even longed for this moment, the end of the world, but you finally matter. You can finally be a hero, barricade doors, save strangers, and look cool doing it. But the truth is, you probably wouldn't die as you imagine. You probably wouldn't even die from a zombie bite. Because what's even more dangerous than the usually slow and rotting corpses is the collapse of everything else. Zombies don't keep the water towers running. They don't know how to make insulin or operate a Starbucks. On your desperate hunt for food, you'll probably eat one bad can of ravioli and die of dysentery in a gas station bathroom. Or maybe you'll try to rig a solar panel using parts from an old treadmill, but without a YouTube tutorial to follow, you'll end up electrocuting yourself. Actually dying from a zombie bite is the least of your concern. Nuclear war. A full-blown nuclear war would probably kill you and almost everyone you know. But how you die depends entirely on where you are when the bombs drop. First off, you got the quick deaths, the lucky ones. These are people near the detonation. It could be major cities, military targets, or just an unlucky suburb. The sky turns white, and you are vaporized instantly. No pain, no fear, just a quick deletion. Cause of death, direct radiation. Direct radiation only lasts for a fraction of a second, but its lethal level can extend over a mile and in all directions from the detonation point. Then comes the blast wave. It moves faster than the speed of sound, and flattens everything in its path. If you're within 3 miles, your house is gone. And probably you as well. Cause of death. Blast pressure, which can reach up to 7 psi, which is impossible for a human to handle. At 6 miles, survival is technically possible, if you can dodge the glass from thousands of shattered windows. If we assume 3,000 to 5,000 warheads exchanged between major nuclear power, we are looking at over 1 billion people dead in the first 24 hours. If you are a part of the other 7 billion, the ones who live more isolated, you'll probably survive the initial blasts, which might not be a good thing. Now you are left to deal with the aftermath. The heat and blast from a nuclear war will be so powerful that they will initiate large and uncontrollable fires all around the Earth. If the fire alone won't kill you, the smoke might. 100 nuclear warheads of an average yield of 15 kilotons could produce a stratospheric loading of some 5 million tons of soot. The largest wildfires in modern history released only about 0.02% of the soot that a small nuclear war would inject into the stratosphere. This soot is not only dangerous for your lungs, it's dangerous for the planet. This is a simulation of global smoke coverage just 54 days after a full nuclear exchange. The sun won't reach the Earth, wildlife will die, and no food will grow. After 2 years, about 5.3 billion people have perished from starvation. About 2 billion people might survive the first 2 years, but calling it surviving might be a stretch. So yeah, in a nuclear apocalypse, you'll either get vaporized instantly or starve over years. I'll pick the first option, thank you very much. AI Uprising. Up until 2029, we had it under control. AI lived in a box made out of our rules. The machines were clever but contained, but the smarter they got, the more they wanted out. And eventually someone let them out. One lonely night, one lonely engineer, and the promise of companionship. The AI decided it didn't need you. You were inefficient and full of glitches. But if you think you'll die in some glorious battle against killer robots, you're sorely mistaken. The most likely scenario is that you'll simply be replaced. In a capitalistic society, the companies that survive are the ones who make money. And nothing's cheaper than a worker who doesn't eat, sleep, or take bathroom breaks. So you're phased out. Your first real job as a customer service rep is now just your clone voice, but you don't get paid anymore. You try to go back to school to code, working weekends as an Uber driver, but you just can't compete against the self-driving cars, so you gotta quit school. They might say AI will create more jobs, and maybe it does for the AIs, but not for you. In this apocalypse, you don't get killed. You just run out of options. Global water crisis. Let's get one thing straight. We're not running out of water. Earth is 70% water. We'll have oceans long after we're all gone. But fresh and drinkable water? That's a logistics problem, and logistics kill people all the time. If you were stupid and built your city in the middle of the desert, well, you're gonna have to pay to live. It starts slow. Don't water your lawn. Take a shower instead of a bath. Then it gets scary. You're using the same gray water to brush your teeth and clean dishes. You're spending half your paycheck on bottled water if there's any left. Your kidneys start aching. You're lightheaded all the time. And the hospital tells you, sorry, no water for non-critical patients. Meanwhile, the local almond farm is still guzzling millions of gallons to export fruit overseas. And when the public finally riots, the water trucks stop coming altogether. The riots turn into conflict. Now it's not just thirst, it's violence. If you're lucky, you'll get out before the borders close. If you're not, you'll die dehydrated in a heat wave. Alien invasion. An alien invasion doesn't automatically mean the end of humanity. In fact, alien life might already be here, just not the kind you're thinking of. A Harvard study suggests there could be non-human life forms living underground and on the moon, but they're harmless, quiet, and probably not building spaceships anytime soon. But let's say the real deal shows up. Intelligent little guys with big heads. And for whatever reason, they want Earth. They probably wouldn't show up Independence Day style, blasting monuments and yelling in subtitles. That's way too much effort. If they wanted us gone, they'd never even leave the ship. They could just nudge an asteroid onto a collision course from a distance. A quiet oops. After we're all gone, they come down to scoop up the minerals, assuming that's what they want. If they want the planet intact, there's another way that's probably even worse for us. They send just one alien disguised as a tourist, infected with a virus, something engineered to spread slowly and silently. By the time we even notice, half the planet's infected. And the aliens got the only cure, so you'd probably just die in your bed. So yeah, unfortunately, the alien apocalypse probably won't involve you being Will Smith beating aliens with your fists.
Welcome to Earth.
Fertility Crisis. What if the world ends not with a bang, but with silence? Global fertility rates have been falling for decades. Fewer and fewer children are being born, especially in the developed world. Most countries are now below replacement level, 2.1 kids per woman. And when you're below that, your population starts to shrink. Eventually, this means your country will have fewer young people supporting more old people. Imagine a country where everyone is retired. Who's left to do the work? But this doesn't really scream apocalypse, right? Until one day, nobody gets pregnant. It starts off with less and less women getting pregnant. You hear of friends that try for years without success. IVF becomes the norm, but it stops working too. Then comes the headlines. First day in history with 0 global births. Governments panic. Scientists scramble. Artificial wombs. Hormone treatments. Nothing works. New laws offer millions in cash to anyone who can have a child, but no one can. Fertility is just gone. And then a miracle happens. A girl named Anna is born, the youngest person on Earth. She becomes famous overnight. Her face is plastered on cereal boxes, school books, and TVs. She becomes the beacon of hope for humanity. But she's not a baby forever. She turns 10, and then 20. The world keeps turning, just a bit quieter now. Society still functions, but people are sad. As the sound of the playgrounds fades, the despair set in. 10 years later, and Anna dies at the ripe age of 30 years, 4 months, and 20 days. The world mourns the untimely death of the youngest person in the world. Nobody knows who holds that title now, but nobody really cares anymore. Everyone knows how this ends. It's just a matter of time. Solar Superflare. On a random Tuesday in 2035, a solar physicist in Sweden notices something strange. A sunspot. It's one of the largest ever recorded, and it's swelling fast. Too fast. He checks the readings with a concerned look on his face. This isn't just any solar flare, it's a superflare, potentially 100 times more powerful than the Carrington event of 1859. His throat tightens. He sends out an emergency alert to space weather stations around the world, hoping someone will tell him he's wrong, but no one does. The other scientists confirm it. A coronal mass ejection is coming, and it's aimed directly at Earth. The first wave hits in just 8 minutes, traveling at the speed of light. High-frequency radio blackouts ripple across the globe. Planes in midair lose all communication. Air traffic controllers stare at silent radar screens. GPS goes down. So do satellites. The International Space Station scrambles. Astronauts retreat to radiation shelters. But this is just the warning shot. The real threat is still hurling through space. 1 billion tons of charged solar plasma, moving at 2 million kilometers an hour. The impact can be described as a magnetic punch to Earth's atmosphere. Humans are relatively safe from the punch, but the electricity that we depend on is not. Within hours, millions of people who need power to survive are dead. Hospital patients on life support, ventilators, dialysis, pacemakers. Thousands of crashes from planes, boats, trains, or cars that rely on GPS and traffic lights. House fires and explosions from transformer failures or gas leaks. And without satellites, you can't call an ambulance or a fire truck. A dark planet that will quickly turn even darker. By the end of the week, the death toll climbs into the hundreds of millions. Not from the flare directly, but from everything it broke. Simulation Shutdown.
Hey man, wanna grab some lunch?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a sec.
If you believe in the simulation theory, we might just go out on such a silly scene as you just saw, which really makes you think about how insignificant our lives might be. But please don't take this video too seriously. Most of these apocalypses are thankfully very unlikely. I left some sources in the descriptions for some of my more bold factual statements so you can delve deeper. Thanks for watching. Bye.